Is that something that you really want me to believe?
Well, I do appreciate, again, your feedback here, man. And
I'm just asking a question. I mean, of course, it's at my discretion. But it's always at my discretion. But the fact of the matter is, if you guys are advertising otherwise, saying all natural and organic, and your products contain more than 80% soy, pretty much, I mean, if not 100, you want me to believe that less than 10% of the U.S. food supply you guys have direct access to, and you guys, less than 10% is basically, it's producing all your products for the whole United States and out overseas. That's what you want me to believe?
Correct.
Do you believe that?
Yes, ma'am.
You do, huh? Do you believe that because you work there, or you believe that because that's the actual fact?
Well, ma'am, I don't believe that my opinion has really anything to do in reference to this.
It has a lot to do in reference to it. It has a lot to do.
Is there anything else that I can go ahead and do to assist you, Ms. Stevenson?
I mean, you've been the most helpful, Yi. I'm sorry you had to be on the receiving end of this call, but the fact of the matter is that you have so precisely rehearsed your script, but at the end of the day, all of your products contain GMOs in it, and there's nobody regulating you. So whatever you tell me, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, right? Because you guys are going to continue to produce it, and there's nobody that can stop you right now. Basically, would that be a fair? Would that be a? Why would I have to go to marketing? That's who's spreading the false lies. Why would you want me to go to marketing when marketing is not being regulated by any labeling company in FDA? How can I know the difference? How can I know the difference? You tell me, Yi. Let's level together. How would you know the difference of something if there was no attorneys, if there was no legal system? What would dictate the law?
All right, man. Well, in regards to your question, I wasn't letting you know that I'm going to transfer you to anybody. I'm letting you know that I'm going to get your comments and your feedback forwarded on over to our marketing team.
I hope so. I hope you are, because this has been a pretty detailed conversation. So I hope you're documenting this conversation quite thoroughly. And so help me understand that. If we are in a society where the legal system is responsible for regulating order, right? If there's no legal system, how are we going to know who's doing right and who's doing wrong?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I wouldn't have any information as to a legal system. The only thing I can go ahead and do is provide you with information and how we process.
But I'm talking about Proposition 37. You said you know about Proposition 37. So that's the legal system. Right. So how do I know? So how do I know what you're saying is true? How do I know? How do I know it's true? How do I know it's true, Yi? I can tell you, you know who I'm going to tell you? Guess what? Guess who you're talking to? You're talking to Michael Jackson right now. That's who you're talking to right now.
Michael Jackson?
Right. That's who you're talking to. So I'm going to pretend to be Michael Jackson. Who do you want to be on this call, Yi?
All right, man. Unfortunately, I believe that we've reached the point of the conversation. Is there anything else that I can go ahead and do to assist you right now?
Yes, I would like to know, how am I to know the difference? You still haven't answered that question.
The difference between what?
The difference between your product having GMOs and it not having GMOs.
Okay. And you're asking as far as the legal system is concerned, correct?
I'm asking as far as Proposition 37, which you've already explained that you're familiar with. How do I know if right now, today, Proposition 37 is not in force? How do I know that what you tell me is in fact true?
Ma'am, again, it's definitely up to your discretion. Like I said, I'll be more than happy to get your comments and your feedback.
I know. How is it? I understand that, Yi, but understand, this is not rocket science. Of course it's at my discretion, but if at my discretion means that everything says the same thing without regulation, how am I going to make a logical decision at my discretion?
Well, ma'am, again, that's definitely going to be up to your discretion. You could go ahead.
How is it at? But you're not answering. How is it? How I have no discretion. I have no discretion. You have my discretion. Yi, that's the difference. You're telling me I have something. You're telling me I have something that I clearly don't have. Why are you telling me it's at my discretion when it really isn't?
Okay. Well, like
Do I make the labels? Who makes the labels? Who makes the labels? Do I make the label or do you make the label?
A label as to what? I'm sorry.
Products, your product. Do I make your product's label or do you make your own product's label? Or does the FDA do that too?
As far as the FDA, that's actually, something that it is actually on the container as well here, ma'am. And it is stated that our soybeans are, not genetically modified.
But what I just asked you is, ma'am, if do you make the labels on your product or do I make the label on the product?
Okay, ma'am. I understand that you don't make the labels on that.
Okay, so if I don't make the label, what is really at my discretion? If the label is supposed to tell me what to discuss.
Okay, ma'am. Again, I understand your concern right now.
Do you really understand my concern? That's actually a dilemma. That's far from a concern. How would you feel going to the supermarket and all the products had the same label on it but sold something totally different?
Right.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense?